welcome to yet another exciting edition of Trendz Travel. As usual, I'm your host for today, Louise Scoble, and today we find ourselves at the Market Theatre where we'll be watching The Little Prince, but more about that a little bit later. Right now, though, Salepi Maifadi takes us to Sun City where she attended the 5th annual Style Affair. This event is basically a pamper party with luxury and glamour, so let's take a look and see what she did there.
It's a Wednesday morning and we're having an absolutely fabulous one out here in Bokata in Sun City and here to celebrate the Style Affair. Tell us about it. What is it all about?
It's such an exciting day. The Style Affair was born 5 years ago and I was actually given the mandate because naturally people come here for the golf, but not all women enjoy golf. So what must they do? So we put on this incredible pampering party for all the women that attend the golf, and you can expect everything from makeup, hair, massages, light sculptors doing skin analysis, we're doing nails by Morgan Taylor, we're doing hair and so everything that a woman can possibly have done, she can have done right here. The idea around it was that women are always busy. We're running a household, we're a mother, we're a sister, and there's always not enough time to do things for yourself. And if you're doing things for yourself, you have to get home or you have to get back to work. So the idea was to get everything that a woman could possibly think to have done to be present here. There's very much a whole lemony kind of feel to the summer, and that's exactly what I decided. Also, it's hot here, so you don't want to come into an event that feels a little bit that draws you down. You want to come and feel light, and you want to stay, and you want to. Later on, the girls are going to end up in the pool. I can guarantee you that.
You just got to the Style Affair. First stop, you decided to zhuzh up your hair, right?
Right? That's the only thing. Like, a hair is a woman's crown. So I had to.
So what's happening? Have they told you about some of the steps that they're taking on your hair today?
Look, what I like about Hannes, I walked in and I was like, he was like, I see it. I see it. He had a vision. He read my mind and I was like, go for gold.
Wow. Okay, so what is this gold you're going for, Hannes?
So we're just creating a nice, sleek wave for her, just to make it look nice and elegant and fresh again.
What are you expecting to get out of this? Because you just made your first stop at the first stall. So literally, you're going to go through a whole lot of other stalls. What are you expecting to find?
See, normally, like the last time I was here, I had braids on. I had dreads, actually. So I couldn't do anything with my hair. So now the fact that, my first stop was the hair, because I was just like, amen, hallelujah.
We are here with the reigning queen of Miss South Africa, and obviously she's here because this is the Sun International event and the very first Style Affair that you've been to, right?
Yes, that is correct. I'm so excited to be here. I'm enjoying it so much, and it's just, I feel so relaxed. I think for today it's women bonding. We all have this in common. We all are women and we like being pampered. Let's not deny that, you know? We're here for the golf, but I love that they've set a day aside where we can get our nails done, get a massage, because often, when you're home, we have our own work, you're a mother, have other responsibilities, and you can just come here and relax.
What are your plans for this festive season?
I'm preparing for Miss Universe, so that's the plan at the moment. In December, it's happening on the 16th of December, so I'm not going to look ahead of that. Right now, that's my focus.
Really hard shoes to fill because right now, our former Miss South Africa is Miss Universe. How much pressure is that? And she's stunning. Demi is a lovely girl. I've met her and I aspire, she's doing such a great job. But more importantly, we love our country. We love South Africa, and the fact that we could go out there, show the world what South Africa is made of, I'd love to do that again. I'd love to bring my own bit of spice into it. So it's exciting. I don't think I feel... I don't feel any negativity. It's a special thing. It's a special thing. If I bring back that crown again, it's going to be so special. Well, definitely good luck to you. We are certainly rooting for her on Trendz Travel.
Thank you very much, Kat.
What has been a favorite when it comes to nail color? Which color have people been picking the most?
We're finding a lot of nice summer colors, bright pinks, but definitely the neutral pinks, nude pinks. Girls are loving that as well. So yeah, that's what we've been going for.
Let's see. So you have just done your nails. How are you doing?
Very good. Having so much fun.
Right. How cool is the Style Affair? How many times have you been here?
Being for the last 4 years.
Wow. Okay, what is it about the Style Affair that makes you keep coming back?
So much things going on, like, you know, it's nice atmosphere, a lot of girls, and it's a nice time for, like, I'm the wife of a player, so to meet each other and chat and drink and eat and make our nails, makeup, hair, everything is about beauty.
What's your take on this event?
I mean, it's a fantastic event. From the venue, because I mean, we live such a hectic lifestyle in Johannesburg, and leaving Johannesburg, like I feel like I'm not even in Joburg with all this water and these palm trees, and it's nice to be pampered once in a while, because I mean, I work in an industry where I'm always pampering other people, so this is just perfect.
So is it your first time out at the Style Affair?
No, we do this every year.
She's a regular, okay? Don't get it twisted. What do you love about coming here? Why do you keep coming back?
It's just a beautiful experience. It's a big event on the African map or events calendar in terms of golf, and just the hospitality of Sun International and the sponsors. That's why we come back here, because we're well taken care of.
Okay, so I'll wait in the queue to get touched, because people are getting touched and it's like looking really nice. People are getting relaxed. So I guess I'll be next in line. Check you on the flip side. Yeah.
Trendz Travel will be back right after this very short break. But just a reminder to catch us on our social media pages on Trendz on SABC using the hashtag SABC News. That's on Twitter and on Instagram.
Meet perfection, surrounded by more perfection. Surrounded by friends, on a perfect day. Make your most festive Shisanyama more festive with a 750ml black and white blended Scotch whisky for only $132.99. Only from Tops at Spa.
Buildings, submerged homes and devastated families.
Biggest earthquake in here.
Their homes and buildings moved like boats.
Big shake, and I ran as fast as I can.
These are the satellite images depicting the area before the disaster.
The ground is like a wave.
I've never seen anything like this in my life.
It is unbelievable. You can actually smell the stench of dead bodies around.
The National Hurricane Center said earlier on Tuesday that Michael was a Category 1 storm with sustained winds of up to 150 kilometers per hour. Residents were implored to get out of harm's way ahead of life-threatening waves, winds and rains. Flash flooding over the weekend caused 13 deaths in Central America after Michael formed off the coast of northern Honduras.
Welcome back to Trendz Travel. Now, as a little child, I do remember reading The Little Prince and being absolutely in awe of it. And today, like I told you earlier, we're at the Market Theatre where we'll be watching a performance of The Little Prince. Now, they're doing it in a very different style and they're incorporating some African elements. Let's go have a look. Originally written in French, The Little Prince is the world's most translated book outside of religious works. It is translated into 300 languages, including English, Zulu, Afrikaans, and Xhosa. Little Prince is this magical, fantastical story about a little boy who leaves his planet to go and kind of travel the universe to find new friends. He's on a quest. And it's kind of about the reconnection to your inner child. It's about learning, the philosophical things that children seem to know from a young age that we kind of let go of when we get older because we think, you must be concerned with matters of consequence. You must become a serious person. But the more serious you become, the more you let go of your inner child and the real creativity and magic of what life is about. This year, this world-famous, timeless story celebrates its 75th anniversary and is still as vivid as ever.
The story came with the directors to say, let's take on this task and let's see what comes out of it. And then for us, it was about taking that story, which is a French story, and turning it into an African type of story, giving it that African feel. So to us, it was tackling that issue to say, let's bring it to Africa. Let's see what it does.
Now performed by the Kwasha Theatre Company, they tell a magical African-inspired adaptation of Antoine de Saint's classic fable with a twist.
It was a problem for us to solve because the little prince is not exactly a human, but it's quite a mysterious being, almost a child, potentially an inner child. There's even a question mark about whether the little prince is a real being in the story. You know, it's so murky and open to interpretation. So we didn't want it to be one actor playing that role. We wanted to leave it open to interpretation and quite mysterious. And what we asked of the cast members who are all playing the little prince is to sort of access their own inner child. And so each of their little princes is different because in so many ways that's what the little prince represents, is your inner child.
There's 5 of us. We're a company and we're an amazing cast of very dynamic actors, and it was decided that we should kind of play around with who gets to play the prince, who gets to play the various characters of the fox, the rose, and then we've also blended the story into kind of a very contemporary South African story. So we have a very traditional family setting as well. We play various family members. I play an older daughter who's kind of a tween coming into herself. I play the character of the rose, and we kind of just get to bounce ideas off of each other and bounce character off of each other. And it's a huge challenge, but so much fun.
I play the role of the aviator, who is the writer, but then the aviator in the sense of him in the story that he wrote, to say that he was driving this airplane and then it crashed and the story started to unfold.
Directed by Mwenya Kabwe and Clara Vaughan, the company has had acclaimed performances at the National Arts Festival, Vrystaat Arts Festival and the South African Book Fair, and continues its successful tour around South Africa.
We've toured, around the country to Bloemfontein, Durban, Cape Town, Sasolburg, Grahamstown, and everywhere we've gone, we've had a really, really warm reception of people of all ages, people who love the book, who grew up with the book, who love to now see it and remember reading the book for the first time as children, and then children also. I've been quite surprised at how children, quite young, maybe 4 years old, really respond to the story and seem to relate to it in some way.
The Little Prince is brought to life in this exciting production using an innovative and playful fusion of art forms, storytelling, music and circus, in multiple languages, creating a unique South African production of this French masterpiece for adults and children alike. The second annual Joburg Film Festival opened its doors last week, and over 40 films were screened right across the city of gold. Of course, Trendz Travel was there.
The second Joburg Film Festival is officially in full swing. The Film Fiesta showcases over 40 curated releases of the best in African and international cinema. And festival directors have put together a long list of films which are set to cater to a huge spectrum of audiences from different ages, genres and cultures.
We know that Johannesburg is a vibrant, cosmopolitan, cultural melting pot, and we wanted to bring films to Johannesburg as a way of having a conversation with African cinema and South African cinema. So that really was the ethos. And at the same time, the festival is a partner with Discop. So that's the marriage that we wanted to celebrate and to bring to the fore. So on one hand, it was this kaleidoscope of films, and on the other, it was the actual market. So you had the visual pleasure and you had the business of making film as well.
Screenings will be held at various venues around Johannesburg, creating a platform for audiences to experience a whole new world in the film industry.
We had as our main curator Pedro Pimenta, and he selected the films internationally in terms of his own kinds of tastes and nuances. He was the curator on the 2016 festival, and he knew how to build upon that essentially. And then from South Africa, we wanted to show a highlight of the features over the year and what the different genres are and what the different kinds of stories that are emanating from South Africa are.
Kidogo wanaishtumu serikali kwa sababu ya msimamo wao
wa ndoa ya jinsia moja.
The highly publicized Kenyan feature Rafiki opened the festival, and amongst the attendees was first-time lead actress Sheila Munyavi.
When I got the script, I remember being very hesitant to take the role. It was my first time me deciding to be an actor, and this is the first role that came. And I remember thinking what the feedback would be like, because Kenya is a very conservative nation, and I was more worried if I was going to be able to get more work and for my own security. But I went through the script and I read it and I fell in love with it, and everyone who I know was represented in the film, and it was so important to me to do the film then, and my fear just disappeared.
The controversial Kenyan love story recently garnered great public attention in Kenya and globally because of its unashamed look at the intricacies of same-sex relationships.
The interesting thing is the head of the Kenya Film Commission banned the film because the ending was too hopeful. But it's a simple and beautiful love story. Yes, about two women, but it's love and it's beautiful, it's so well done, and we see the girls falling in love and how it affects the community and how they decide to strive and fight for their love. And in the ending, it's up to people to decide what happens, but we were banned because it ended on a hopeful note, which I think is ridiculous.
You're just a typical Kenyan girl.
Also on the festival schedule is the provocative South African filmmaker Jamil Kubega's film, Sew the Winter to My Skin. Supporting actress Mandisa gave us a scoop on the film.
The film I'm in is called Sew the Winter to My Skin, and it's actually South Africa's official submission into the Academy Awards, into the Oscars, which is pretty exciting because it's a beautiful film. It's actually loosely based on a true story. A man in the 40s and 50s called John Gepe, who used to steal from the rich and give back to the poor, his community. So it's sort of like a Robin Hood, Samson story. It's really, really beautiful. And it's epic. I mean, it's set in the Eastern Cape, beautiful locations. Yeah, it's a really exciting film.
The film festival is definitely a platform for filmmakers to showcase their work and a great experience for film lovers.
Coming up after the break, we bring you Donovan Marsh and Tom Murray, who are wading in international waters with their new film, Hunter Killer.
This week on Trendz Travel, we took a short lift to Sun City Resort in the Northwest for a luxurious pamper party. The Market Theatres brought back the 75-year-old production of The Little Prince to stage with a South African twist. On the big screen, we celebrated our very own at the opening of Hunter Killer, where South African director Donovan Marsh debuted an American film starring Jared Butler. Keep it locked to SABC News this Saturday at 17.
Hunter Killer is a US film with a bit of South African flair. And the reason I say this is because it was directed by none other than South African Donovan Marsh, and in the DOP seat was Tom Murray. What do we do when one of our own makes it big? We as South Africans celebrate them. And that's exactly what we did in Sandton City at the South African premiere of Hunter Killer. A select few, including Trendz Travel, are invited to bask in the glow of yet more homegrown international achievers.
Sir, we've got a shootout under the ice. I told Sixth Fleet you want a Hunter Killer.
Hunter Killer portrays Gerard Butler as American submarine captain Joe Glass on the hunt for a US sub in distress in the Arctic Ocean. The plot thickens with a secret Russian coup and a conspiracy that threatens to dismantle the world order.
Oh my God. It's a coup.
Now, where does the South African element come in? Well, Hunter Killer was directed by South African action thriller director Donovan Marsh and was visually brought to screen by the talents of our very own Tom Murray as the DOP, both making their global debut. Unlike on home soil, where Marsh is well known in the film industry, he had to pitch and vie for the opportunity.
Well, it's a very different system when you're working in a studio. The stakes are much higher. As I say, it's the NFL of movie making. There's no room for mistakes. You really are competing with the best of the best. And so you feel a lot of pressure. So the pressure base is much, much higher. And then they have a different system of who calls the shots. You know, being a first-time director in that system, I didn't have as much power as I would have in a local movie. Here I have total creative control. There I had to share my creative control with 9 producers, and the star of the movie is also a producer. And so that's not ideal for me, and it's a tricky thing to kind of adapt to. You know, you've got to work the politics, and you've got to learn how to make decisions by committee.
By all accounts, it would seem that the many production hoops he had to jump through were quite worth it, as the cast and producers were very happy with the end result.
Donovan for us was an interesting choice as a director because he had never done anything on this scale before, but the work he had done previously was so interesting and so well thought out and organized. And after meeting with him and discussing with him and hearing his ideas of how he saw the film, we immediately knew this was the guy for the job.
Waiting orders. We're going in
with such big plays as Gerard Butler, Gary Oldman and Common, Marsh is now one of the big dogs. And although a newbie to this kind of star power, he is far from being a novice.
He's gone missing just above the Calder Peninsula. I didn't so much direct Gerard Butler as wrangle him in the best possible way. He's actually a great guy. I really liked him and we got on well, and he's an amazing talent. But, you know, with that comes demons. You know, you're not a Hollywood star just for nothing. You know, you've earned that position. He's done 45 plus movies. Here I come along, you know, it's my first movie, Hollywood film. And so he quite rightly is going to question me and challenge me and make it hard for me just to see what I'm made of and whether I can rise to that challenge. And so I'm not used to that. I'm used to the one who's doing it in the other way around, you know. And so that's quite an adjustment, and it was a challenge. It's a real challenge, and it was difficult.
It may not have been easy, but having the passion he displays, Marsh is described as authentic and intellectually challenging. And with keywords like trust, curious and surprising being thrown around, it's clear that our South African dreamer has made quite an indelible impression.
Okay, give me a director and he's going to say, this script is very precious to me. I had it for a long time, so what are you going to tell me? Over the years, I've met many directors for this movie. What are you going to tell me that's so great? What are you going to do? And he says, what do you think about this movie? He says to me, what do you think? Like, why are you doing this? And it was really a kind of an assault on my ego, basically. I'm like, why is he asking me? I want to know. And then I realized that's exactly what it was. I was just like uncaught. I felt challenged intellectually. And he wasn't challenging me. That's just who he is. He's a very intelligent guy who loves to talk things out.
It's kind of fun in a way, funny too. But he really is he wants to create the world in the most realistic way possible. He has a vision for it that's very detailed, and he's passionate about it. He's passionate. I find him to be very passionate about the work and really caring and really just wanting to make sure that we deliver. So
Donovan Marsh is a type of director that you feel that he knows exactly what he does. It's like he's already edited the film in his head. But Donovan has also a thing that he's very curious. And it's a little bit the environment to work with him is a little bit like, this is what I wanted to do, please show me something else too. Surprise me. And that is what I really like.
Marsh, however, felt it important to bring more of SA on board, and that's where Maria became involved.
Like, I'm pretty sure when I heard about me, they were like, who? And so I had to go through a vigorous pitching process to the producers, all the big heads that kind of make all the big decisions. And I remember those late nights because everybody lives in Los Angeles. There's massive time difference. And every day speaking to the next producer, 2 nights later, the next producer. I think I spoke to about like 6 of them. And it's eventually kind of worked my way up to the top 2 guys, and they were like, oh well, everybody else likes you, let's give you a go.
The two had previously worked together on Inamba Namba, which was filmed in South Africa. It tells the story of two cops tag-teaming it to outwit some of Soweto's nastiest criminals. What made this drama so special is that it formed part of many firsts for the South African film industry. This feature served as the prize and vehicle for the winner of a reality TV show for actors called Class Act. It's evident that the duo work well together, but Marsh is adamant to get more South Africans on board his next international project.
Again, next movie I'm using all local crew. They're just as good. We're just as good as they are. We're not as experienced. That's the only thing we lack. We have the talent and we have a better attitude, and I just believe in South African crews, and I'm going to try and get them on whatever movies I do here or overseas.
The Global Citizen Festival is a concert that brings together musicians, world leaders and global citizens in an effort to promote positive change on a global scale. Now, if you don't know what it is, then you must have been hiding under a rock, because people all over the country have been doing their bit to try and score a ticket. Pictures were taken, pictures were sent, charity events were organized, but we'd like to know what you did to score a ticket. So why don't you send us your pics and videos on Trendz on SABC using the hashtag SABC News on Instagram and on Twitter. And it's a wrap, folks. Trendz Travel will be back again next week, same time, same place. Don't forget to catch us on our social media pages on Trendz on SABC using the hashtag SABC News. We'd like to see you again next week.